going to continue our down and out series by taking a look at the Washington Capitals. And it was a fairly disappointing season for the Washington Capitals, their lowest points per game as a team in the last 8 seasons here. But they're heading into an offseason where they have almost $9 million in cap space. They have 13 forwards under contract, 5 D-men, but no goalies signed. Before they do anything, Mike, it's fair to say they need to get the goaltending figured out and make some decisions there.
Yeah, and it's not just because Vanacek and Samsonov are pending free agents here, Tyler. It's because all season long there were question marks in goal, and Peter Laviolette, the head coach of the Capitals, repeatedly said he's trying to find any level of consistency from his goaltending, somebody who he can trust. And for a lot of the year, that was Vitek Vanacek, and that's reflected in his regular season numbers, which are really a little bit below average in the league. But he had moments where he was real strong. Now, I don't know what Vanacek's ceiling is in the NHL. I think he's a good 1B. I'm not sure he could be a full-blown starter. Samsonov has the potential to be that given his draft status, but I have a word on the street, man, is that Washington really wasn't happy with Samsonov, and they don't know what they have there. And that's a bad place to be for a former first rounder at this age like Samsonov. And he did get to play in playoffs, but I just find there's so much inconsistency to his game. They've got to figure this out in Washington because I don't see them running both goaltenders back. And if I'm them, I'm trying to figure out the right mix. And then you look at the rest of the team, like you said, Tyler. You know, Backstrom's got injury problems. Tom Wilson's out for a while. Hagelin as well. They're going to have to be able to plug those gaps for part of the season. But I think getting Mantha back helped them a lot last year. Defense are going to have to make decisions, though, right? Like Justin Schultz, do you bring him back? He's a pending UFA. Carlson is the only D signed through next season. So there's a crunch coming there, Tyler, that I suspect they'd want to get ahead of, especially with maybe Dmitry Orlov, or even let someone like a Lucas Johansson graduate from the American League, first rounder at his best year in the A. So there's a lot to do, but I think it's mostly tweaking in Washington, Tyler, than it would be major overhaul.
Yeah, and see, that's where I'm a little bit interested because I just look at the makeup of that team. And if I was in the front office of the Capitals, I'd be sitting there going, okay, the Rangers aren't getting worse next year. The Lightning are clearly showing no signs of slowing down at all. You know, the Canes are hungry for a bounce back. And I'd look around and go, what are we going to do to get these other teams level? Because we clearly weren't there. They were the 8th seed. They didn't make it out of the first round, even though they looked good against Florida. I wonder if maybe they take a look at a core piece or two and say, all right, is that a spot where maybe we need to just freshen up the way we look and try to breathe some new life into this thing? Or like you said, will it just be depth pieces? Will they just maybe touch up around the edges and hope that an Alex Ovechkin-led team can have a bit of a spark next season? It'll be really, really interesting to see how the next 2 months play on Washington.
Yeah, and I think really once they figure out goaltending, that's going to matter. You know, if they can find a way to get somebody in with a little bit of clout in that crease, that could be the catalyst that they need. I think that was missing all year, and it would give them a lot of confidence as a group.